from Tbilisi, Georgia, with 10 years of experience building high-performing teams. He is also a community builder and conference organizer, actively contributing to the Agile ecosystem in Georgia and internationally. His presentation is about future-proofing Agile, how AI is actually used in practice. So let's find more. Konstantin, if you are with us.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I stop my screen share if you want to.
Yes, can you just allow for me to share the video? It says you cannot start video because it is disabled by the host. So if you can just let me share my... and can you see the screen, guys?
Yes, all good.
Okay, for some reason I still cannot start my video. It says that it is disabled. If you can help with that, or if not, then I'll start without it. That's also fine.
If I can help you start the video, Konstantin, if you send me the link.
No, I mean like to show myself, like it's it's disabled for some reason.
Oh.
Like, can you see my picture right now?
We can see your picture, but
But
not
not me.
yourself.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it says it's disabled. If not, it's not such a big deal. So
We will try. Yeah.
okay. All right, let's get started. So thanks everyone who stayed up until this point. It's almost 10 p.m. here in Georgia, and I know that it's like different time throughout the other countries. And today we're going to talk about future-proofing Agile, so how AI is actually used in practice. A little bit of an introduction. So in the agenda, we will talk about AI in Agile, hype versus reality. So what is true and what's not true about AI in Agile, how AI is already used in Agile teams. We'll have a nice overview of practices, and we'll also then cover what actually works and what doesn't, and what to avoid in terms of AI in Agile. And in the end, we'll talk about the major topic, which is future-proofing Agile. So what are the key practices, key sets of practices that we can use to ensure that our Agile systems, methods, and teams are actually ready for the future? Briefly about myself and why you may listen to what I have to say at all. So first of all, I'm proud to represent PMI Tbilisi, Georgia chapter. So if any of the members are attending from there, shout out to you and thank you for this opportunity, guys. I've spent pretty much all of my career, so around like 10 years in project and product management. So I've been an agile coach for the last few years. I've been a head of PMO, speaker, lecturer, trainer. I'm also a community builder, as Daniela mentioned. So I've co-founded the largest agile conference in Georgia. It's called Agile Exchange, and every year we have like over 300 participants. And I'm also the winner of Agile Business Awards 2024 and the reviewer since 2025. And there are a list of certifications that I won't go into detail, but it obviously includes the PMI ACP, which I just renewed, by the way, by PMI. And here is the QR code for my LinkedIn profile if you guys want to connect with me, but I'll share my link as well later. So AI in Agile, hype versus reality. To get started with this, there are three major paradigms about AI that I wanted to share. So first of all, it's about how people sometimes say that AI will replace us, right? It's widespread sort of a fear sometimes that people mention. There is also a second paradigm that says that AI may not replace us, but it will make Agile obsolete. And then there is the third paradigm, a bit different, that AI can amplify or strengthen Agile. Needless to say, I do not agree with the first two that much, but I tend to incline towards the third one. But let's dissect each and every one of them in order to understand what we mean by each and what the future may hold for us. So the first one, AI will replace us, is usually supported by statements like AI will write most of the software in terms of like software development and technology projects, or that it will design products based on user data itself, that it will manage delivery better than humans, and eventually that roles like Scrum Master and Product Owner may disappear at some point. Well, we cannot predict what will happen in 100 years, but whatever is on horizon, we can say for sure, and there is this counter quote by Sam Altman The okay, now I can start my video. Thank you. Counter quote by Sam Altman that AI will not replace people, but people who use AI will replace those who do not. So I think it's a very nice quote. I think it's very like realistic in terms of what's happening right here and right now. Then there is the second paradigm, which says that AI will make agile obsolete because, like, if we can generate complete solutions instantly, then iterations become unnecessary, or product discovery becomes irrelevant, or agile frameworks were designed for slow human development, not for AI-driven creation or whatever. But then there is another counter quote, also by a more reputable person. It's by Marty Kagan, one of the probably top voices in product management around the world, who says that just because new tools can define requirements, design experiences, and write code does not mean that anyone with an idea will be able to produce a successful product. And to support that statement, there is another statement that says that the faster we can build with AI, the more important it becomes to learn what we should build. And I cannot agree with this more, because if we build some very stupid things with like lightning speed, they will not turn out to be great products, right? So, but ironically enough, this quote itself was created by AI. So I drafted this with AI, ChatGPT model 5.2, but it's very true and clear in my opinion. And for the third paradigm, AI can strengthen and amplify Agile. I think there are lots of supporting sort of paradigm, because AI accelerates experimentation. Teams can prototype ideas in hours instead of weeks. It also removes some sort of repetitive work, and it can really effectively help agile teams to use AI and outperform those who do not. But let's dive deeper into what are some of the practices and how AI is already used in agile teams. So here we have like a few use cases, common use cases of using AI in agile teams. There is this use case of accelerated product discovery, where you can like accelerate product discovery process really a lot, analyzing, for instance, lots of support tickets and surface the top recurring product problems, or AI assisted backlog creations, where AI can really convert your messy ideas into ready backlog structured items. AI assisted coding, which is widespread and everywhere. And I think like everyone who has like coder friends, like developer friends, everyone is using AI and everyone is saying how much better it is. So I'm not a coder myself. I'm only a vibe coder to say so, but I know that it's helping them a lot and helping my teams a lot. There is AI testing automation, where it can generate unit tests and edge cases automatically from code. And there is also AI-powered analytics, so I'm interpreting and identifying patterns in the metrics, and AI-driven team improvements, where it can help with retrospectives and continuous improvement efforts. So there are lots of use cases, right? We could cover probably like the next 10 slides solely with use cases of AI in Agile today, but not to focus only on this part. There are also some very interesting productivity effects and some limitations as well. So here are a few statistics, because we as people love statistics and love data, right? It gives it more like sort of let's say tangible feel. So first of all, according to McKinsey State of AI, 88% of organizations use AI in at least one function, which this number I'm sure will rise and probably will become 100% in the very near future. Also, developers using AI coding assistants complete their tasks almost 56% faster, and human AI teams produce 50% more outputs per worker in collaborative experiments. But at the same time, if you look at the right part of the presentation, it also comes with certain limitations, right? The DORA report, for instance, says that increase with AI adoption also correlates with decrease in delivery stability. So as we adopt AI more and more, there is a certain small but still decrease in delivery stability. Then access to AI generated ideas increases similarity between outputs by almost 11%. And that's, I think it's very similar. So when I see as a lecturer, for instance, a lot of my students sometimes provide like this very similar but original sort of solutions to the tasks. If we also use it in terms of brainstorming, if we use the same AI tools and same or similar simple prompts, then our brainstorming process actually becomes very unoriginal. And last one, it's my favorite one, workers report spending 4.5 hours per week correcting AI generated mistakes. So this is not nothing catastrophic. I'm sure that AI is still doing a lot more good than harm in this case, but still it's not perfect, right? In this case, it's still producing some mistakes that we have to basically correct manually. So what actually works? In this section, I want to share a few actual practices, a few cases of tools and what we can do with them. And the first one that comes is Atlassian Provo. So probably a lot of you are using Atlassian products like Jira and Confluence because it's one of the most widespread project management and tracking tools in general. And for instance, in my company, which is one of the largest banks in Georgia, we have this crazy hype over creating robo agents lately. We're creating agents on everything. And here are just a few use cases. And it's such a easy experience that all of you can actually do it yourselves as well. So for instance, in terms of backlog organizations, robo agents can categorize, prioritize, and assign Jira issues, create some rules like deleting issues older than 1 year or 2 years, finding issues on Confluence and turning them into ideas and so forth. It can also help with issue creation and backlog refinements because once again, you can give like some very high level requirements or messy notes and it can structure it into Jira epics or user stories on tasks on a continuous basis. Checking readiness for quality, that's actually a very nice one because agents can access if tickets are ready for development. So if you give them a really good detailed prompt, for instance, with your definition of ready criteria or your quality criteria that you have, for instance, a certain standard for user stories, it can then, let's say, every day or every hour check the quality of new user stories and give you the outliers and give you the idea of how good the quality is or how much percentage, how many items are actually adhering to the standards that you have. And analyzing historical data and standards, you can use Robo to automatically analyze some of the past sprint performances and suggest more balanced sprint plans for the future. So these are just 4 use cases, but I would very much recommend to dive deeper into Atlassian Rovo and find out. And this is very easy to build. Any of us, it doesn't require technical knowledge. Any of us can do it in a heartbeat. Next one is Miro, and I'm sure all of you are also like very familiar with Miro, but Miro actually has worked quite a bit on AI capabilities as well. So needless to say, facilitating retrospectives has never been easier because you can use AI to automatically cluster ideas, eliminate duplicates after the brainstorming session, capture outcomes, and create instant workshop summaries. Then assisting with brainstorming, obviously, once again, turning rough ideas into product ideation and help you with idea stagnation if such thing happens to you. Creating documents and diagrams, and most important, prototyping. Like last year, they rolled out the prototyping feature, which is really nice and which can really help to actually build some simple prototypes of your product, once again, based on your brainstorming sessions or actual product descriptions. And last but not least, there is Lovable, which I simply love. It is my go-to vibe coding tool. And if you have not tried it, I encourage you to try it in your work. Anyone can use it. There are use cases for PMs, for agile coaches. You can create working product experiments in hours instead of weeks nowadays. Also, this idea I actually got from my wife, who is also an agile coach, by the way. We have this nice little agile family that you can. She created the custom icebreaker for one of her teams using her actual like vibe coding tool, Lovable, and it was very nice to present to the team. So if you don't like any of the like let's say icebreakers or energizers that are online, you can just create your own. Then team health check and evaluation. You can create some custom team health check and evaluation tools and virtually anything else. So you can create dependency maps or capacity planning and resource allocation simulators, tracking tools, and anything else that comes to your mind if you are persistent enough with Lovable. Now, not to turn this into like tools advertisement session, we will also talk about what to avoid, because when we're diving deeper into the AI world, it's very important to understand what are some of the pitfalls, some of the places where we can make some mistakes. And first of all, there is this vibe coaching. So I heard the term before. I have not coined it, but for Unfortunately, I could not find who coined this term for the first time. So if you guys can help me out, I'll credit the author. But yeah, it's, as you understand, the combination of vibe coding plus agile coaching, and then you get like vibe coaching. But in the contrary from vibe coding, vibe coaching is not a good thing, because if as an agile coach you just ask AI to analyze your retrospectives, plan your one-to-one sessions, then plan your next steps, and do this whole process using AI, you just violate the major notion that coaching relies on trust, context, and human judgment. So AI can detect some patterns in the data, but it cannot read emotions, or it cannot understand the power dynamics that you have in the organization, or psychological safety. So this can actually deviate you from the real causes of the problem. And vibe coaching, well, you may get some assistance from AI, but the whole fully fledged vibe coaching is usually an anti-pattern. Then no human in the loop. So this is a very important concept, and lots of speakers today mentioned that you should keep the human in the loop. You should have some sort of like human accountability, or someone should oversee the process. And I completely agree with this, because you should, when you treat AI outputs as decisions rather than inputs, you simply may come across some really wrong data. So AI systems can produce very confident but incorrect outputs. And in the end, it's really important to have human judgment and team discussion. Otherwise, the mistakes can propagate really quickly and lead to poor decisions on all ends of your business and teamwork. And AI paralysis, that's also one of my, not favorite, I wouldn't call it favorite, but like a very common phenomena, that sometimes like we got so used to using AI that sometimes we are stuck on doing even simple tasks if it's not available, like drafting that email, or I know, even choosing what to watch in the evening together with your family members. I know anything can seem too hard if you're overly reliant on AI. So in order to avoid this AI paralysis, you should not be over reliant on AI, because it can really weaken your critical thinking and slow your decision making if it's not available at hand, let's say during the meeting or during some important iteration. So it should once again support your judgment, but not replace the ability of teams to analyze problems and make informed decisions. Now, future-proofing Agile, there are some nice practices that we can use to be ready for the future. But before we get there, I would like to share this report, the AI for Agile Practitioners report by Stefan Wolpers, which actually demonstrated that we are, as Agile practitioners, not as afraid of AI as it seems like on the paper. Because in this report, it says that 83% of agile practitioners use AI tools, but they spend like 10% or less of their work time with the AI. But the biggest challenge with using AI for agile practitioners specifically is that there is integration uncertainty. So most of the people simply do not know where exactly to use AI. So in that case, attending events such as Agile Forum 2026 can really help you, because I got inspired a lot today, and probably so did you. So attend more events, get more inspirations, network, that will help in that. But only 7.6% view AI as a major threat in terms of replacing them. So we are not really massively afraid that AI will replace us. As it's shown on the picture, like the boss tells the AI, hey, can you replace all these agile people on my payroll? And AI responds, well, maybe if the humans stop being humans. So unless we stop being humans, I think we're quite safe from AI replacing us. And then there is this final quote that I really love from the Twitter user. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. And why is it so relevant and so important? Because I believe that the major practice is to differentiate your art and your laundry in terms of using AI. So and in this case, we will have like a few challenges that I want all of you to try and accomplish in the upcoming days. So number one, I challenge you to deliberately distinguish between your high value work, so-called art, and routine operational work, laundry, and use AI primarily to automate the routine so that you can actually focus creativity, judgment, and collaboration. So challenge number one is tomorrow, just sit down and write down your art versus laundry tasks. And for the next week, try to use AI only for laundry, so-called laundry, and deliberately keep art human driven so that it keeps your let's say, creative thinking sharp, and also you enjoy the process more. Second one is treating AI as a teammate. Well, as we do not usually trust each other blindly, neither should we trust AI blindly, and we should really treat it as a collaborative assistant that prepares insights, but we remain responsible for interpretation, decisions, and outcomes. And challenge number two is that next week I challenge you to bring AI into one team activity. It can be planning or discovery or refinement, analysis, whatever is in projects, and use it to prepare insights or generate options, but then let the team debate and decide what to do. So bring AI as a teammate into your work in a certain form, but don't give up the, let's say, wheel, as they say. And last but not least, support the building culture. And in this case, by building, we mean vibe coding culture, because future-proof agile teams should we can really future-proof agile teams only by encouraging people to build and experiment with these AI-powered tools like Lovable, Replit, Cursor, and others. And this is the most important challenge, I challenge you tomorrow to just sit down. Well, tomorrow is Sunday, but in case you have more time on Monday, sit down and identify one small problem in your daily work. It can be anything for project managers or agile coaches or for anyone attending. And for the next month, just play with Lovable or Cursor or any other vibe coding tool and try to solve this problem by yourself, not by finding another tool, but actually to develop some sort of custom solution yourself. And you will be astonished by how much you can accomplish as a non-technical or, let's say, non-coding person, because I've surprised myself, and I'm sure so will you. So the last slide, which future holds for agile, and I'm a quite optimistic person. So there's an optimistic outlook. As you can see, it looks like an oasis of people working with AI. But on a more serious note, I believe that we'll have smaller teams in the future. So there is once again, this article by Marty Kagan, who suggests that we'll probably have three-person teams: product manager, engineer, and designer, because then we'll have like lots of AI teammates that will amplify our work. We'll have dramatically faster feedback loops. So I believe that it will compress both discovery and delivery and then learning cycles. And if today we still have like 1 week sprints or 2 week iterations, I believe that it will become like daily or even hourly cycles, so it will be much faster. But at the same time, I believe that agile roles will still be amplified. So the difference will be that if today, nowadays, a good scrum master or an agile coach can support a few teams, let's say 1 or 2 teams, effectively, in the future, since there will be like smaller teams with faster feedback loops, they will be able to focus more on organizational structure and dynamics, and also support more teams. Let's say work with 6 teams at the same time. But at the same time, it does not mean that we will have less agile coaches and scrum masters or product managers or developers, because we will simply create much more value and much more products with the same number of people. So if we have 100 people and today we can produce like 100, let's say we can produce 10 products, we'll be able to produce 100 products. And this is not bad for the humanity, because it will actually create more value, more interesting products for everyone. And this means more ideas, more teams, and more innovation, not fewer opportunities. So in the end, I believe that AI, as well as any other innovation, can actually make world a better place at the end of the day. Thank you. That was all from my end. I hope I made it in time. And yeah, so that's all from my end. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to share more with you or exchange some ideas. And thank you so much for staying up until this late hour on a Saturday evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Konstantin. Thank you so much. Yes, you are in time. And I think you have time also for the questions. So guys, don't be shy.
Great.
Let's give Konstantin 10 more minutes for the questions on the stage. Yeah.
What
Oh,
would
look.
the pessimistic out? Should I read them or?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what would a pessimistic outlook for the future look like? Well, it's hard for, well, as I told you, I'm a natural born optimist, so it's hard for me to think of that. But a more pessimistic output would probably be that, I know, we create some sort of mechanistic structures where You don't need that much agile coaching and human interaction, maybe that, and it actually replaces. But at the same time, I'm still optimistic about that as an agile coach because if anyone can adapt to new realities, then it's us as agile people because that's like in our mindset. So we might not be called agile coaches anymore, but then it will be something else. But yeah, the worst thing that could happen, in my perspective, is that the agile could disappear. But then if something better appears, then it's still good enough. So sorry, I still turned out to be optimistic on this one, I guess.
As you said in the beginning, yes. And we have a hand raised in the
Yes,
Zoom, Sophia, or sorry,
yes, Sofia,
Yeah,
yes.
Sophia.
yes.
Good evening, everyone. So, Kote, thank you for the insightful presentation. Congratulations. So, I have a question. You mentioned many useful tools like Miro, Robo, Lovable, or etc. So, what tools you suggest for retrospective ceremony to increase productivity? Because this ceremony is still difficult to facilitate. So, what your suggestions?
So I
Thank you.
usually use, thank you for the question. I usually use Miro, or I usually use Team Retro. It's called Team Retro. It's a tool and it gives you nice additions with AI because first of all, after brains, well, it has all the modes like incognito and anything else that you need, but it gives you a sort of like it groups the tickets after brainstorming according to themes automatically using AI. So there is this tedious work of grouping tickets that you can avoid. And it also works very well in Georgian, which is usually a problem for us because Georgian is not a very popular language in the world, obviously, but it works really well in Georgian. And then it can also like after like well it does the voting and everything, and then it also helps with action items. So it can generate after on your most important issues, it can generate the possible action items which you can then accept or reject. So it does not create those automatically. So with this little AI touches here and there, it can actually save you, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, and I just like using it on a daily basis. So probably Team Retro would be my go-to tool in that case. I'll also drop it in the chat.
Thank you. And yes, we have more questions, Konstantin. So I think the one from Irina, please, is the next one
Yes.
from the
So
chat.
how can agile coach and teams ensure responsible and ethical use of AI while still maintaining speed and innovation? Well, I think on this topic, like other speakers have spoken like in a lot more detail. But yeah, first of all, well, there is things with security that, for instance, when we talk about creating tools with Lovable, don't create tools with using like unless you have like enterprise version of it and you can officially use it for your company purposes. Just don't use them with your company data, right? That's really important because there is this it's easy to be seduced to do that because it's very easy to use and it's very easy to build, but make sure that you do it according to the rules. So you have usually if you have Microsoft as an official tool, you have Copilot, which can be alternative to ChatGPT, and just simply do not upload your company data to ChatGPT, as which I know that a lot of people do, but that's not a very good thing. Yeah. So there is that, and for in terms of ethical and responsible usage, otherwise it's what I mentioned in the beginning. I believe that in the end, I believe that like you should not rely on it fully. So, for instance, if you're sharing some one-on-one session outputs with AI, just make sure that you get some ideas, but the judgment is yours. Like make sure that you, as an agile coach, for instance, still have this relationship with the client that is based on your judgment and your trust. And make sure that because you cannot really outsource trust and judgment, you know. So that's a second very important thing. Yeah, there was about quote AI and the laundry, and somebody already
Yeah.
put a link to it.
Yeah.
Uh, so
What
any
about,
feedback about? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Antonio.
please, please.
Yeah, any feedback about Azure DevOps? Well, not much to be honest. I have used it only on one project in my life, and I was not a fan. But that's just my perspective because I'm not an expert. So I know that it can be just as good as Jira, but I'm not familiar with the AI side of it. And where are you seeing the strongest resistance to adopting these tools shared today? Well, I believe the strongest resistance is with getting started. You know, that first step is usually the hardest one because no matter how much you talk, no matter how much you share, unless you get people to get started, it's yeah, that's the hardest part because once you get started, it's so easy and it's so convenient that usually like the resistance disappears itself. Well, at least when we talk about robo agents or Miro AI on Lovable. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying to do very practical workshops where we get which are more like demos, where we get people to actually experience and use these tools like in the live regime, let's say. And then if they like it, they continue themselves. But yeah, getting started is the biggest part of the resistance, I believe. And as for PMI Infinity 1, I have downloaded it. I really have, but unfortunately, I haven't used it that much, to be honest, like truth be told. But I think I will because I recently rejoined PMI and renewed my certifications. So I will probably use these tools more actively as well.
Good. So we are waiting an article, yeah, on the PMI Infinity, Constantine.
Yes, yes, for sure.
We'll be watching it
Yes,
on LinkedIn.
could be topic for the next forum. Yes, very well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.